Some days nothing is on fire, and that's the problem. You answer messages, send the file, water the plant, and the room still feels airless. You didn't forget to work. You forgot to care. Not in a dramatic way, no crisis, no shouting, just a quiet slide into maintenance mode. You tell people you're fine because it's the easiest word when you've stopped measuring by anything that matters. You keep pace, hit targets, and yet a small voice keeps asking, why does none of this feel like me? How does care go missing? It rarely tears itself away. It loosens one screw at a time. You say yes when you mean maybe. You postpone the call you know would be honest. You scroll just long enough to blur the edge of the afternoon. You decide attention is optional as long as the output ships. Over time, competence becomes a mask for avoiding the harder work of feeling. You are present at the meeting and absent from the meaning. Here's the hard truth. The absence of care is not neutral. It is a direction. It points you toward the version of yourself that can perform without belonging to any of it. Without care, results still arrive, but meaning doesn't. Relationships still exist, but connection thins. You can keep moving and still be lost. And the longer you live this way, the easier it is to mistake numbness for maturity and distance for wisdom. Left unchecked, the cost compounds. Teams hit their targets but grow cynical. Lovers share a home but not a life. Friendships flatten into logistics. Did you get home? Yep. Creativity turns into compliance. Neat, acceptable, forgettable. Decisions drift toward the option that prevents disappointment, not the one that builds something. You start asking for instructions on things that actually require conviction. In quiet moments, you don't like who you are around the work you once loved. How do we restore care without turning it into another metric? Start smaller than your ambition and closer than your real life. First, name one place you want to show up, not for applause, but for accuracy. One relationship, one project, one practice. Second, remove friction that blocks attention. Silence alerts for a focused block. Clear the desk. Close extra tabs. Third, add a small signal that invites heart back in. Ask the second question in a conversation. Write a 3-sentence note about why the task matters. End a session by stating what you learned. Fourth, relearn standards that come from care, not fear. Care asks, is this honest? Is this kind? Is this useful? Fear asks, will they approve? Will I be safe? Notice which questions drive your day. Fifth, take one risk proportional to your capacity, a truth told, a boundary set, a bolder draft sent, and reward the behavior with rest or gratitude, not with more work. Put your body in the loop, walk slowly, stretch, breathe out with sound. Feeling is not a luxury here, it is the power source. In the end, the ledger is simple. When care is absent, you can keep your schedule and lose yourself. When care returns, the same life becomes legible again. Choose one place to care today, even if the act is small and private. That is how meaning re-enters, not as a speech, but as a decision repeated until it feels like you again.